Good evening, everyone. I'm Devin Patel with 860 News. We have the weather coming up for you shortly, but first, an interview with local waste employees Henry Bugai and Ian Weisberg. Guys, nice to see you.
Thank you for having us.
I understand you guys have problems with the waste disposal methods in the state.
Yes, we do. See, the waste crisis has a very strong connection to climate change because of the emissions in the landfills. It's easy to ignore the effects of climate change because it seems like such a distant problem in more ways than one.
Yeah, and Connecticut really isn't a place greatly affected by climate change, so it's hard to gauge really how bad it is. And because of this, it seems like climate change is a slow, preventable problem that we have time to deal with, when in reality, it's much closer than we anticipate.
Let's see what the public thinks about all this.
Global climate change can lead to water shortages, melting glaciers, and storms. In total, all of this global warming damage can lead to $7.1 trillion in damages.
My experience with global warming is watching our government not fight for our planet and watch as our Earth continues to get worse. It is essential for our government to recognize the urgency of our problems and take immediate steps to help solve the problem. The well-being of our communities rely on these vital measures.
So Connecticut's facing a huge solid waste crisis over the next few years. There's no place to put the waste. There's no facilities. We're shipping all of our stuff out of state. And it's really important that people separate their food waste so that we can reduce the amount of solid waste going to out-of-state facilities.
So why are you here today? How does waste management solve all this?
Many towns across the state of Connecticut have been implementing the Pay-As-You-Go program, which, as the town of Greenwich defines it, puts personal and financial responsibility into waste management.
Yeah, and trash is one of the only services left that's still paid with a fixed price. Electricity, gas, and any other utility is based on how much of it is used. The reason that many are apprehensive about the Pay-As-You-Throw program is because of concerns that it'll be more expensive than the current situation.
When you pay for trash, the fixed price isn't the whole story. Trash prices ended up being subsidized by the government, meaning that there's a hidden cost of throwing out more, and that the cost comes from tax dollars, your tax dollars. The public has been paying for larger disposers since basically the beginning of waste treatment.
Interesting.
And just like how people are careful about the amount of heat they use when winter comes around, people will be much more conscientious about the amount they throw out if there's a monetary value associated with it.
However, for most people, they'll already be saving because a little less won't be going into your taxes. That big disposers will no longer be stealing money from those who don't contribute to the crisis.
This is a bipartisan issue. Saving the environment is paramount for the health of the planet, and it's clear that if nothing is done, there will be dire consequences.
Don't kick the can down the road. We are doing our job raising awareness, but this is as far as we are able to get on our own. For real change, we need actions from our politicians. This issue is real, and it's going to be present for the rest of our lives if action isn't taken.
When will you make the change?
When will you make the change?
When will you make the change?
When will we make the change?
When will you make the change?
When will you make the change?